So, very interestingly, Fantastic Four failed to beat Superman with its opening weekend box office. Now, I believe that both of these movies feel divisive to me. Superman's divisive, and Disney as a brand is divisive. And I just think people do not, because to me, it was above average entertainment. It was a relatively good movie. Superman to me was horrible, but Superman has had legs. So that means there are people that like it. You know what I'm saying? So we'll talk about Superman later, okay? But if these numbers, let's talk about this. Okay, so it says here, round one goes to James Gunn. James Gunn's Superman wins. Flawless victory. Box office ality. And the new DCU as Gunn's Superman flick is flying high and has managed to beat Fantastic Four's opening box office weekend. Says here, I left for Comic-Con where it was looking like Fantastic Four was coming out on top. Fantastic Four overperformed for its Thursday previews, bringing in $24.4 million, higher than estimates, and beating Superman's $22.5 million. If the trend continues, though, throughout the weekend, Fantastic Four would have beaten Superman's opening of $125 million. However, Fantastic Four did fall short. Marvel's Fantastic Four only brought in $118 million domestically. Check out the daily comparisons below where you can see that Fantastic Four stalls on Saturday and Sunday, suggesting Thursday and Friday were front-loaded with Feige's zombie fans that eat anything that Feige throws their way. Let's see, Comic-Con reactions. I will say that I talked to a lot of people at Comic-Con and who didn't get a chance to see Fantastic Four yet, but whether that makes a difference, I'm doubtful. I suppose if Fantastic Four picks up during the week, you'll have your answer. What I really found interesting is that a lot of them were wearing Fantastic Four shirts and such, but admitted they hadn't seen the movie. Again, maybe because they were at Comic-Con, yet that didn't hurt Deadpool and Wolverine last year. I also think it was a huge mistake not to bring Fantastic Four to the San Diego Comic-Con this year. Marvel Studios skipped the entire event while James Gunn appeared not only to be at the DCU Peacemaker Season 2 panel, but also made a surprise appearance at the DC Jim Lee panel. My friend actually won the super awesome Superman prize they gave, which included Gunn's autograph and a Jim Lee sketch and more. So, it actually opened soft internationally, it says here. Back to the box office report. Similar to Superman, Fantastic Four opened soft over the weekend. Overseas, bringing in $100 million. Well, Superman did $95 million. So it did $5 million better overseas, but it's basically the damn same. Fantastic Four's worldwide opening stands at $218 million. Gunn's Superman opened to $220 million. These are extremely similar numbers worldwide and has now passed the $500 million mark, but took longer than the Batman. More on that below. So, these are basically the same numbers. They seem to be tracking very similarly here, which means Fantastic Four will probably, maybe, if it has legs, we need to see the next weekend. We need to see what happens this weekend to see if it will do any better. Just as a fan of superhero movies, seeing both, even though I know I'm on one side of the coin with one and the other side of the other, both could still end up doing similarly. But Superman's way more of an icon than the Fantastic Four, so it could still pull, you know what I'm saying? My hunch is that Superman will win the overall between the two. The dinosaurs still rule the world, I think. Let's see here. Fantastic Four still has an 87% Rotten Tomatoes score from the critics, and audience scores at 93%. Cinema score is also at an A-. Okay. I don't trust them anyway. It doesn't matter to me. It will be interesting to see if Fantastic Four how it performs in the coming weeks. Domestically, at least, Superman has been performing pretty well, though it fell big time in weekend 3. Check this out. Superman brought in $24.6 million in weekend 3 and dropped another 57.5% compared to Batman's $36.7 million, and it dropped by 44.8%. Yikes. Gotcha. Okay. So after this weekend, if Fantastic Four has legs, I think good word of mouth from people saying we all know Disney's trash right now, but this was actually relatively good. Check it out. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's still some woke stuff in it, but it actually is entertaining. Then I think they'll probably end up around the same with, I think, Superman, eking out the win just by a tad. So, Fantastic Four box office grosses: domestic 118, international 100, worldwide 218. So there it is, y'all. So tell me what you think. Who do you think's going to win the box office out of the two of them? We already know the dinosaurs rule right now, but out of these two, I'm going to go with Superman being the bigger name out of them. With numbers this similar, with some people raving about Superman, and many people saying it's garbage. I feel like with Fantastic Four, though, just from what I've seen with the comments that I've read, less people are saying that Fantastic Four is garbage. That could mean something. Just gonna have to wait and see. You know what I mean? I felt like Superman was more polarizing than this movie is. Definitely. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. If you enjoyed my thoughts on this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. 10 million subscribers. Woo!